A top WWE Star Suspended, a shock new top champion, new WWE titles incoming, and more. I'm Ollie Davis, and this is the WrestleTalk News.
Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe. Before I get into any of this video's top stories though, move aside, Race to Witch Mountain template, Rock the Dwayne Johnson has a new meme now. Following the release of WWE's WrestleMania XL Behind the Curtain documentary, which was rumoured to be delayed over 2 months from its originally announced release date because The Rock wanted changes made to make him look better, the documentary has not made him look better. Because at one point, Dwayne says, "I told those guys, Triple H and Nick Khan, here's what I believe we should do. I believe we should go Roman Cody. Will Cody finish his story and take care of those fans because it's critical and important?" Which is funny because reportedly, and if you watch the TV, Johnson was the one who had pushed for him to take Cody's place. So the new meme has him taking credit for all number of things Hulk Hogan style like. And that's when I told Tostinos to put the pizza in bite-sized pockets. And then I told Eric Bischoff, Sting isn't tan enough. And my personal favourite, and then I told Tony Khan to air the footage. Speaking of bad ideas, why do you call your cash in advance, Drew? It's like you want CM Punk to screw you. That's what she said. After winning Saturday's men's Money in the Bank ladder match, McIntyre cashed in the briefcase to make Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight title a triple threat. And unfortunately for him, therefore no DQ. CM Punk interfered to screw McIntyre out of the championship for the 3rd time since WrestleMania. Understandably pretty upset by this, Drew angrily appeared on the Money in the Bank post-show, started attacking officials, and struck Adam Pearce with an elbow to the mouth before Wade Barrett separated them both. Pearce then posted on X with a thinly veiled jab at Tony Khan's fearing for his lifeline following Punk's all-out backstage altercation. Last night in Toronto was emotionally charged in so many ways, good and bad. Understatement. I personally apologise for the interruption to the post-show and my anger. Poor Jackie feared for her life. Understatement. Decisions to be made regarding McIntyre Punk. Understatement. Really trying to get that understatement catchphrase going. Now, in a video on WWE's X account running down the Monday 8th episode of Raw, the general manager Pearce has announced, as a result, after careful consideration, I am hereby fining both CM Punk and Drew McIntyre an undisclosed amount for their actions. Furthermore, due to putting his elbow squarely in my teeth, I am hereby officially suspending Drew McIntyre indefinitely. Understatement. Drew has quit WWE already during this feud, and he came back on an episode of SmackDown 4 days later, so we'll see how long this indefinitely lasts. But it might be a delaying trick while the company waits on Punk getting medically cleared. He's been out of action since January with a tricep injury, and was close to being cleared after last month's Clash at the Castle. Now Wrestling Observer Radio is reporting WWE is pretty confident in having Punk versus McIntyre at SummerSlam after their 7-month build. But they can't go and say 100% because it isn't 100%. But it's been the hope, and now it's more than a hope, now it's a plan. Understatement. Now it's time for a word from this video's sponsor.
Are you feeling sad, little Peter?
No, I just have resting sad face.
Are you feeling down in the dumps because you're constantly cast as a humiliated figure of fun?
I mean, well, I'm not down in the dumps about it. I just feel like I have more range, you know?
Do you get sad when you can't watch shows from all over the world?
Frustrated, I guess? What does that have to do with...
Do you call the WAMbulance when your IP address isn't protected as you surf the web?
What?
The cybercriminals make you wee yourself at the office and everyone laughs at you as they sing, Pete, Pete, the man who loves to wee himself.
That is a half-truth. How do you know that? Who are you?
Worry not, little Peter, because I'm your friendly neighborhood Surfshark. And with Surfshark, I can make you cool.
I don't want to be cool. I just want to be me. I'm enough. I'm enough.
You see, with Surfshark, you can be the coolest shark in the sea by staying protected from cyber criminals, protecting your IP address, and watching content from all over the world. Secure your privacy with Surfshark now by entering the code WrestleTalk for an extra 4 months free, using the link in the video description.
Please, can I go back to normal now? I don't want to be cool anymore.
Nonsense, Peter. You'll be like this forever. You will be loved and adored by all.
Oh, God.
While the women's Money in the Bank ladder match technically had the most botches, thankfully nobody got injured and they didn't affect the overall story, which is more than can be said for the title match McIntyre was cashing in on. About 20 seconds before Drew came out, Seth hit a Falcon Arrow on Priest for a near fall, because nobody ever loses to the Falcon Arrow, but Damian never kicked out. Instead, referee Rod Zapata held up the 3 count as McIntyre's cash-in was still set to happen. Fightful selectors reported that Priest was supposed to kick out here, and that it wasn't due to a production error of McIntyre's music being hit too late. And while WWE referees are usually told to call pins as a shoot, Zapata had to hold up his count for the planned angle to take place. If Seth won for Drew to then cash in, the match wouldn't have a triple threats no DQ rules in place, making Punk's interference more difficult. There were also the big stakes of Priest having to leave the Judgment Day if he lost, which wasn't the plan. Once upon a time, a mistake like that could ruin a wrestler's career in WWE, but the new era's regime seems far more understanding, with Fightful's source backing up Paul Levesque's post-show comments in support of Priest. It was an unfortunate situation, but those don't usually happen with Damian Priest, and he was probably more bothered about it than anyone. Considering how much he gives of himself, it would be silly for anyone to hold that against him. It's just a shit happens situation, which is more than can be said for Tonga Loa, because everyone's just laughing at him. While it didn't affect the overall angle in the Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton and Kevin Owens versus New Blood lineup of Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu main event, Tonga Loa managed to botch 3 times despite not even being in the match. This is in addition to him botching his very first move in the company, mistiming breaking up a pin at Backlash where the referee had to pull himself out of the ring. During the match's closing moments, Loa tried to interfere by hitting a low blow on Kevin Owens, who was about to hit a package pile driver on Tama Tonga. Instead, Loa missed the first low blow and just punched Owens in the butt. The ass, Bill. The ass. And then he missed his second attempt and punched his brother Tama Tonga in the head. Who botches a low blow? That's the spot you give non-wrestlers as the easy interference move you can't mess up. Fightful has reported there was a lot of light-hearted joking backstage in WWE, specifically about Loa punching KO in the butt. But it's not just been you all laughing at Tonga Loa, has it? You've been laughing at me too. Haha. Huh. Let's switch Ollie's pipe bomb greater than math t-shirt, which she objectively and fairly proved as true, with Luke's factually incorrect math greater than pipe bomb shirt. And nobody tell Ollie for over a month, making it look like I think math is greater than pipe bomb, which it isn't. That's stupid. Ooh, but I've got a trick up my sleeves too, Luke Owen, and the sleeves are on a t-shirt that says pipe bomb greater than math, once and for all. I'll reveal all on tomorrow's news. Fightful also said Tonga Loa appears to be fine after hitting his head on the commentary table off a Cody Rhodes dive to the outside, because he botched taking that one too. WWE wrestlers getting heat for honest mistakes seems to be a thing of the past, so the company have decided to bring back a different bit of nostalgia. NXT takeovers being better than the main roster shows. Sunday 7th's NXT Heatwave Premium Live event saw Obi Femi retain his North American title, Kalani Jordan retain her North American title, Nathan Frazier and Axiom retaining their tag team titles in an excellent tag match, and Roxanne Perez retaining her women's belt against Lola Vice. A lot of title retentions there, because it was all to set up the genuinely huge shock of Ethan Page beating Trick Williams, Siobhan Evans and Shawn Spears for the NXT Championship. Following a brilliant four-way, the defending champion Williams hit trick shots on both Evans and Page, causing Ethan to fall and cover Javon. Spears was dragging Williams out the ring, meaning Page won the belt while unconscious. It's the biggest win of Ethan Page's career, and a very loud signal to anyone over in AEW who wants to try their chances under the new regime in WWE. Oh, cough! Ricky Starks! Penta! Cough. But it wasn't just NXT that was sending a signal, because weirdly, taking a page out of the Wyatt Six book, the final image of Heatwave was the viral shot of Joe Hendry turning to camera, which is actually kind of creepy with no music behind it. It's a smart move by NXT, as Hendry's brief cameo several weeks ago drew huge numbers on social media. But Hendry wasn't the only TNA star featuring on a WWE show over the weekend. Both former TNA World Champion Josh Alexander and TNA ring announcer Jade Chung, they're married in real life, were both backstage backstage at the Money in the Bank show on Saturday. While they are both from Canada, where the PLE was taking place, this could have been more than just leisure, as Alexander hasn't yet appeared on NXT in their prohibitive Portal working relationship. We've got a full review of NXT Heatwave over on our WrestleTalk podcast channel, so go watch that. Links in the video description below. As defended on Heatwave, NXT debuted their first ever mid-card belt for the women's division back on WrestleMania weekend this year, and it seems that concept is getting called up to the main roster. PWN on X has reported, according to one of our sources, WWE has the women's US title and women's intercontinental title in the works, one for Raw and the other for SmackDown. Fightful then added that these plans are not yet definite, but they have been discussed internally after being pushed by a number of talent on the roster, and the images that are circulating online are AI mock-ups and not official images. Perhaps that's the exact sort of title WWE could offer wrestling's latest hot prospect to tempt them away from AEW. CMLL Stephanie Vaquer was one of the standout names from this year's Forbidden Door, losing her New Japan Strong title to Mercedes Moné at the show. Now the Mexican publication Record is reporting she's received offers from both AEW and WWE. Stephanie still holds CMLL's World Women's Championship and the Tag Team Championships, but is apparently considering a move to the United States full-time. Deadpool and Wolverine is out this month. Watch Luke and Dan react to the 4DX trailer by clicking the video on the left.